People were like, "Hey, I want one with nothing on it." Same price. Like it's either you can get that or you can get the one with all this badass shit on it, and it's the same price. Like if you want to be, if that's your taste, like I think as a society we need to stop rewarding people for their, bland taste. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you get a discount because you have bland taste. No, fuck that.
What's up, y'all? It's Cartier Rob, and we have another wonderful installment of the Play No Games podcast.
For sure. It's Tay Ford, and to the left of me, I have a recent friend I've just made, Sage.
What's up?
What's up, bro? So I actually met Sage just kind of stumbling across my Instagram timeline. You know, I like to make food content. Kind of got back in my bag recently.
That is
just
true.
Scrolling on Instagram, and I see like this viral post on Instagram, this hot dog spot that just opened up in the town, or at least to my knowledge, because I hadn't known about it. So I pull up, and I want to say this was the best hot dog I've ever had in my life. And me and bro, we just kind of built from there. And yeah, now he's here. So I was like, I need to have you on this platform because we like to support small businesses.
We absolutely do.
Yeah. So appreciate you for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me, y'all. Seriously, appreciate it. Yeah, it's my first podcast, so.
Hell yeah!
I did it.
That's
Took the cherry on that one.
That's fire. But before we get into the nitty gritty of our interview, we usually like to play this game called "What Do You Play No Games About?" No pun intended. But basically, how it goes is we just in short spill. Say a highlight of what your week has been. It could be something positive, something negative. So Rob, you want to give him like an example real quick, just so he knows how to play?
Yeah. So today, y'all, what I play no games about is NBA games might be returning back to NBA games. Every game I've tuned into has been a thriller to watch. Sorry about those Celtics, but
your team is home already.
Hey, don't worry about it. We're gonna be in Houston next year. We're gonna be in Houston next year.
You're a whore.
And that's okay. Now, I will just say this. I just have enjoyed the competitiveness because I think as like a sports watcher and things like that, I feel like we've been complaining about that, and I feel like the teams came to show out. Like every I think the best series I watched was actually yesterday, the Thunder and the Nuggets.
That was a fire finish. And no, I'm not saying this just because he hit it. I swear to you, I said before the series started, this was going to be an Aaron Gordon series just because of the matchup weight-wise with him and Chet Holmgren. I was like, bro, if they're going to win this series, he has to be averaging like close to a dub. Mm-hmm. And he balled out yesterday, so we're going to see if that continues.
Okay.
But going off of that, I would say I play no games about the fact that Portland has one of the best food scenes in the country to me. Between Third Coast, going to y'all recently. I recently went to this Italian restaurant called Fantino. It's just on lower Southeast Division. I want to say like 6th Division. That sounds about right. Somewhere around there. It's kind of like near Akati.
Okay.
That's super close to me.
Yeah. It's probably like a couple blocks away. But yeah, no, it's fire, bro. Like.
Akati's amazing too.
Yeah, and Akati is too. Shout out to them too. I've been there a few times, but I just encourage people to support small local businesses, because you can get more of like an intentional touch and feel with like the cooking and service more so than like some. Not to knock them because I like going to some of these chains, but like a STK or Morton's or something like that.
I'm always a firm believer because we're a small business ourselves. Where it's kind of like I feel like everyone reaches out to be like, oh, I gotta make these big connections and things of that manner, but like I feel like we miss out on a lot of gems in our own city and like dope people who are doing dope things that need that recognition before like the person that you idolize like you should have done that, and you're like, that was actually 2 blocks down my street.
Yeah,
nerd, you should have been paying attention. So I can vibe with that.
So what you playing no games about, bro?
I'm gonna play no games this week with just I guess just the fucking weather. It's been so fucking nice. Yeah. I'm from Texas, so the cloud, like it not being warm outside gets me a little bit. So this week has been awesome. Yeah, like been going to the river, riding my motorcycle, taking my dog everywhere.
Mm.
So I'm just like stoked on that for sure. But yeah, and going out to eat. Yeah, like you said, like, yeah, this is the time of year where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go pop in places and do shit, you know.
Mm.
As far
Yeah.
random question, not interview related. What part of
Yeah.
Texas you from?
San Antonio.
San Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I haven't been through there yet. I got family in like the Houston metro
Yeah.
area between like
Yeah, I have family in
yeah,
Houston
yeah,
too. Yep.
between like Caddy and Beaumont, and my
Yep.
immediate family lives in like DeSoto, Garland, and like over
Yep.
there. Yep.
Houston's that big. It's just like the joke is Houston's 4 hours away from Houston, you know?
No, damn
I
near.
never-
I'm
Yeah.
damn near. Yeah. But let's get straight into it.
Let's get
Y'all-
cracking.
Y'all ready?
Let's
All right,
do it.
so I just have to ask, like off the rip, one, what went into you building out the concept for your business and also the name too, because there's very like distinct names.
Yeah, Third Coast is based off of like DJ Screw and Fat Pat, like all the Third Coast like screw tape guys. Because you know, you have like Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, you have these two like alternating sides of America, but no one really talks about the Gulf of Mexico, you know, and the whole Gulf, like Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, all those states down there, but mostly like Texas is a huge part of that. And I grew up listening to all that when I was young, you know. I have a lot of family in Houston, so we go to Houston all the time. And yeah, I just was like, why does no one really talk about this? Like, I think the South has the best rap scene, has the best food scene.
Oh.
You know, it's just no one really talks about it. And yeah, I think it needed some representation for sure, you know. But as far as building it out, I mean, I started this because like 2.5 years ago, I broke my collarbone and some ribs in a motorcycle crash.
Damn.
And I lost my sous chef job at Goomba. It's like Italian fine dining spot.
Yeah, over
in
on Alberta, yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I was laid up for like 3 months, couldn't get out of bed. You don't really realize how much you use your collarbone until you don't have it. Like you can't get up, you can't tie your shoes, can't put a shirt on, you know. And so I was sitting there in bed, and it was in the middle of summer. So everyone out, it was like literally 2 days before July 4th.
Oh,
so everyone's out grilling. I'm like laying in bed, broken collarbone. I went to the hospital. They gave me ibuprofen. They didn't give me painkillers. They just took one look at me and they were like, here's some ibuprofen and here's $50 for a sling. I was like, I'll buy that shit on Amazon. Fuck that. $10. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll take the ibuprofen, you know. But I was laying in bed watching everybody grilling and shit, grilling hot dogs on July 4th. And I was like super depressed. And at the time I was drinking a lot. I don't drink anymore. And I had already had this pop-up design for hot dogs. And I've been doing it at random restaurants for like their lunch programs and doing it randomly on the side, like catering little weddings or parties or whatever, but never had really done like built a logo, built a menu, like get it all played out. I kind of was just fucking around. I was laying in bed looking at everyone grilling hot dogs. I was like, I'm going to fucking do this thing. I got time on my hands. Like I was literally laid up. Like the doctor was like, you're not going to be able to go back to work for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Because like as a cook, I use my arms so much, especially my shoulders. You know, I couldn't even pick up a pan. And so for the like 3 months I was laid up, I just started really honing in a menu, did all the design work, made all the social media, I just did it all. And yeah, kind of out of necessity came this, you know. And it was something I'd always wanted to do and had this idea for, but never had like a pause to do it. And it was like the universe being like, now, motherfucker, you got to do it. Like you got nothing. And if you don't do anything and waste this moment, you're wasting a big thing, you know? And so I did it, you know?
As far as that you were able to leverage like what most people might consider like a very low moment in your life,
Yeah.
like kind of springboarded into, you know, success you're having now. I gotta ask, like as a kid, were you like a avid hot dog lover or no? It's just something not to.
Yeah, hot dogs are fucking great. I mean, I think it's a symbol of the working class. You know, I think it really is this food that provides nutrition. You can eat it on the go. You know, you don't even need a plate. You can just walk off with it, you know? Yeah, it's like this working class symbol, you know? And I heard a really good quote the other day is like Costco's the food bank of the middle class. I was like, damn, that hits. Like I didn't even think about that, and it's kind of true. And but yeah, hot dogs alone taste amazing, and like of course a classic hot dog is amazing, like mustard and relish and onions, you know. And I love a Costco hot dog. Like I love Costco hot dogs, and so I think you can have these ordinary hot dogs, but nobody really plays outside of the boundaries with them, you know? And you have these very distinct regional, like Chicago, you have New York, but like where are what the hell is the rest of the country and the world doing? Because it's not just us that loves hot dogs; the whole world loves them, you know. And it's a working class symbol in other countries too. So I was like, well, there's a really big underrepresentation of what other people are eating hot dogs, you know, and how they're eating them and what they're putting on them and stuff. And yeah, so yeah, I definitely ate a lot of hot dogs as a kid because we were poor, and it's just so it's like satisfying, you know, especially if you put them on the grill, you're like outside. It's like this really awesome moment, you know, and it just feels like it feels right. It feels like American. I don't know, you know, I don't know how else to explain it, you know.
I actually really quick want to double back because I've been really geeking off this like mental math piece where like what you talked about is a very like triumphant moment or like a pivoting turn in like someone's life where you really turn pain into triumph. And what were you saying to yourself during that time of being laid up of like this is my moment? Because that happens for a lot of people and then they just stay there, they lay there.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, what was the mental math of you saying that this is the time?
I think it was just like pure desperation, you know. And I think when you know you're supposed to do something, you just do it, you know. And there's really no explanation for a lot of things. Sometimes things just happen. And I think it was a really rock bottom moment for me. And I was drinking a lot to deal with the pain. And I was already drinking because I was a chef, and that's what we do is drink. You know, you get free drinks at work. You go out after work and keep socializing. And so I was already, you know, a pretty functional alcoholic, you know, but I would go to work. I did everything, you know, I was super functional, but, you know, because they didn't give me pain medication. And I'm glad in the end, they didn't give me pain medication because people get hooked on that. Like my buddy who also got in the crash, they gave him medication. And he was like, I wish I never took it. Cause like after I had to get off of that, it was just another thing I had to get off of. And so it's like, that's what life is just constantly like filling this gap of making things convenient or more comfortable, you know? And so I started drinking a lot to deal with the pain, just so I could sleep. You know, I would sit in my bed and the only thing I could grab with my good arm was like the bottle and just sit there. And I was just drinking cheap vodka out of a jug because it was just medication, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually when I healed up, I kept drinking like that because my body was used to that, you know? And so one day, you know, my arm was still fucked up and I'd done a couple pop-ups. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm still drinking like I'm laid in this bed and I'm not, you know? And I decided to stop drinking and I just went cold turkey. And I haven't had a drink in over 19 months since then. Yeah.
Salute to you for that, bro.
Yeah.
Super
Thank you.
salute.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you just even saying that because I feel like people like say slogans like, you know, to just do it. And like people get stuck in that. And I really feel like the surgical route of like the mental math I was saying, like, I think people really need to hear that because they just sometimes think it's just easy. And it's not
easy. And I tell everybody that struggles with addiction and most people don't know they're an addict, you know? And it's when something bad happens, you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Maybe something's wrong, you know? But I tell everybody who's struggling with addiction and who wants to go down a route where you're like want to deal with it. Yeah. It doesn't get easier. It gets better. You know, life doesn't just get easier the second you pull this one Jenga block out of the system, you know, like, all right, great. You stop putting poison in your body. That doesn't mean all the bullshit in life is going to end. It just means the way you deal with it is a little bit more mature, you know, and more responsible. And I'm not completely sober. I just quit drinking. You know, I smoke hella weed. On the weekends, I take some mushrooms. I drop acid every now and then. But you know, alcohol was ruining my life, you know? And I didn't know it for so long until this really crazy thing happened, you know? And then I resorted to alcohol to like fix it. and it made things even worse. So I was like, this is just a problem.
Hmm.
And so whatever, people are dealing with, you can surgically take out that one piece and still live a fun life, like we were talking about the sparkling water thing earlier, like we think alcohol is like, it's so societally accepted, so it's hard to escape that.
Yeah.
So, but there are ways. I mean, we're slowly getting to that point where it's like, hey, it's okay to not drink. It
Yeah.
doesn't make you not cool. It doesn't make
You're
you
not
not
weird.
fun.
You're not
Like,
weird.
You're not weird.
You're not a weirdo.
Yeah.
No, it's so crazy. Not to trauma bond with you right now, but like about a year, some change now. Almost coming up on 2 years. Like I lost a really close friend,
Yeah.
and at the time, like for about a month or two, I was kind of self-medicating, like just drinking hella, and then I just caught myself one day. I was like, bro, like I'm spiraling.
Yeah.
Like, and I just like put the ball down for months. And once I had that realization, like I just started to like incrementally start making subtle changes in my
Yeah.
life. And like I drink now again, but I'm much more aware.
You have a
with,
different
like,
relationship with it.
yes, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And like it's kind of weird that you say it too, because I did have friends in my life who were like, bro, like come on, like quit being a weirdo. Like, nah,
Yeah.
bro, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like you can still do what you do.
Yeah.
I'm whatever.
And I'm actually going to take one of your terms, not to cut your knowledge,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's trauma bonding. I think trauma bonding is when you try to get like a negative, like a relationship and association with someone without really dealing with it. And what I just heard in this room from you both is like the acknowledgement of,
Yeah.
of like, I was going through something. So I think as men in spaces, like sometimes it's even hard to tell your own guy friends you're going through stuff
Yeah.
because they're gonna be like, you weak.
Yeah.
No, I need help. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you both just sharing with that, because I'll be honest with you guys too as well. I also kind of felt like the weirdo growing up because I really didn't like really drink until I was 22, and I would get a lot of pressure to be like, Rob, why are you not doing that? And I always felt like I'm like the party pooper because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all saying that, because like it goes both ways. But just really bringing it back, that I just really appreciate both of y'all just sharing that, because this is that space, and this is what this is how you grow and learn.
Yeah.
Facts. Speaking of growing and learning, though, I want to ask, just like for clarity for viewers, like how long have you actually been in that space where the business is right now?
I took over the bar space 15 months ago, but I was doing pop-ups there almost 2 years ago. My first pop-up there was in the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, about almost 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask, because obviously, I'm literally a direct, result of someone seeing the post. And
Yeah.
What was that first day after that shit went viral, and then your
Yeah.
businesses?
It was kind of funny. I had a regular in there. He was sitting at the end of the bar, and he gets a call from his wife, and I'm making him a drink and a hot dog, and it's like a chill Saturday. And his wife calls him. He picks up the phone. He's like, puts the phone down. He was like, I think your life's about to be changed forever. I was like, what? And he was like, my wife just told me that the spot that I love to go to is about to get blown up because it just went on this viral thing. And so I'm like, wait, what are you talking? So I had no idea what was happening that day. I had no idea. I mean, and we had shot it, and they were going to edit it, but like, I didn't really know when it was going to drop. And so we're talking. I was like, well, what video are you talking about? He's like, I don't know. My wife just said, so you're on some video, and it's already got all these views. And I look up, and all of a sudden there's just waves of people like parking. And it was like within like 10 minutes. It was, yeah.
Damn.
And me and this guy are like looking at each other. He's like, damn, this is my favorite spot. He's like, I guess I'll come check back in with you in like a month. I was like, I'm sorry, bro.
Damn. Yeah,
but yeah, it was just like within 10 minutes, I don't know, 50 people showed up, and then it just kept building. And then every day there was just a line. Yeah.
So I'm curious with that, for like someone who's like a newcomer, what would you say is like the signature dog that would explain your business?
I tell people that the El Paso is the most popular one because it is the most popular. I feel like the Bay City is like the cult classic one. That's the one with cream cheese, fried wonton, green onion, sweet chili.
I had that one the first
Okay.
time. Yeah, that shit was fire.
Yep. people every day ask me what my favorite is.
Yeah.
You know? And I always tell them the San Antonio. I'm from San Antonio, so I'm partial. And I like mole. So it has mole on it, pickled onions, Takis, chips, and like a white crema sauce. But it's funny, people ask me that. They're like, every day, I'd say like 20 times a day, people ask me, what's your favorite? I'm like, oh, the San Antonio. And they look at it and they're on the menu. And they're like, ooh, mole? No. And I'm like, fucking don't ask me that shit. Don't ask me my opinion.
It's kind of a weird question to me to ask anyway, just because like, well, you answered, but I feel like for most people, they're like, that's like choosing between my kids. Or what the fuck? I don't care. I don't care what you ordered.
Yeah, I don't. Just pay me. You can get one with ketchup. I don't give a fuck. And I do get people ketchup dogs, but everything is everything's the same price. So I kind of penalize people for their lack of taste. Yeah. And people come up, they still pay it. You know what I mean? I'm like, people are like, hey, I want one with nothing on it. Same price. Like, it's either you can get that or you can get the one with all this badass shit on it, and it's the same price. Like, if you want to be, if that's your taste, like, I think as a society we need to stop rewarding people for their, you know, shitty, bland taste. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you get a discount because you have bland taste? No, fuck that. And it also kind of controls how many people bring their kids in, because I do allow minors into the bar till 9 o'clock per OLCC, and a lot of bars don't do that. But, you know, in the beginning, I didn't have my liquor license, and all my friends have kids. Yeah. And they bring their kids in, and I wasn't selling booze, you know? Yeah. And they would come and get hot dogs, and I didn't want to, when I got my liquor license, I didn't want to be like, well, can't bring your kids in now. So I was like, all right, well, you know, if your kids are cool and can hang, they can come here. But they start some shit, I'm gonna kick them out, you know? Makes sense. And I don't want people coming in here and being like, oh, I want 30 plain ketchup dogs for my kid. Like, this isn't that. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same price. You know what I mean? If you either that or go cook at home for your kids, you know? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, that's a good.
You know, I'm not. Yeah, I don't play with that. You know, I play no games with that. How about that? That's fine. I'm just sick of, like, I think as a society we need to stop like rewarding people for like bringing their kids everywhere, or, you know, or like the senior discount. I'm like, motherfucker, you had twice as long to get that money. Why the fuck do you want some discount? You're old as shit and you ruined everything around us. And now you want a discount? No, like, I should charge you more. And also, you know? Like, more, but I don't. More, more
anything though, because you have a background as an actual chef. Yeah, like, I would think like you damn near disrespecting my art by saying, oh yeah, let me just get plain Jane like hot dog. No, motherfucker, I took some time making this damn menu and I craft this shit. Like, this is like surgical work I'm doing, so appreciate it. Yeah, that's why I'm also big on not asking for substitutions. If I've never had one little element within a dish, I'll at least try it so that way I could say, all right, you know what, this may not just suit my palate before I'm like, ew, no, what is this? Like, bro, you don't even know if you like it or not until you try it.
Yeah, and I think people need to take the jump a little bit, you know, put your feet in the water and just try something you never tried. Stop just doing the same thing you've always done. And I'm down for like basic substitution. Like, if you're allergic to something, of course I'm gonna take that off. Or you don't like something, I'll take that off. I don't care. But like, I don't want you, like, people coming in and be like, well, can you do this and this? Then just go make it yourself, you know?
Yeah, like, even with me, like the two times I'm in there, right? Like, you know, I only eat pork, but it's vegan bits. And I swear to God, if I'd been anywhere else, I would have off rip been like, them shits, you couldn't tell the difference.
They're good. They're really good. Yeah. And it's just like marinated tofu and barbecue sauce that's dehydrated. It's like, tastes like exactly like bacon. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I think people need to, as a society and a food culture, we need to, like, you know, get people on the program of like, hey, this is where we're going. And, you know, I don't do things on the side. I refused, and because that's just like, now I have to give you a little piece of plastic to put some shit in that you're just going to use for 2 seconds, and then it's just go in the trash for the rest of the time. It's never going to degrade, just because you were indecisive about something. So when people come in, they're like, can I have this on the side? I told them straight up, nothing's on the side. You know, either you get it or you don't. Like, you're an adult, make up your mind, you know? And people are like, all right, cool, I don't want it. Or I'd say 20%, they're like, fuck it, I'll try it. And then they're like, oh, I actually really do like that shit. I'm like, look, you know? Like, no more playing around. Like, and I try to be a zero waste restaurant. Like, I have zero waste. I keep everything super tight. I produce very little trash. Yeah, if you come in, you notice everything's like minimalist. You know, it's just like, here's some paper towel rolls. Here's the smallest thing I can put this hot dog on. You You know, like, why do you need a plate to cover up your crumbs? Just eat, you know what I mean? Like, if it falls on the floor, don't worry, I'll sweep it up. Why do I have to give you some plastic or some paper to just hold shit for a second so you can just throw it away? You know what I mean?
Damn. Oh, damn.
And it saves me money too.
For sure.
You know?
Okay. I'm just curious. When it comes to selling out, when you sell that last dog and you got to close the kitchen, how does that make you feel as a business owner?
It's a mixture of emotions. It's like triumphant because it's like you won a battle, you know? But, you know, no one shows you what happens after the battle. And nobody knows what happens after. You got to clean that shit up. You don't just leave the dead bodies there. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's hours of me. It's like, great, cool. Like closed, you know, and I haven't sold out since I officially re-signed the lease for the building, because now I have more refrigeration. I got like a whole storeroom now. So hopefully, unless I get swamped insane again, I will probably never sell out. Like I've increased my capacities. Yeah. But in the beginning, yeah, it was a very daily thing for that first month because it's just me. Yeah, it was triumphant, but yeah, no one shows you what chefs have to do after it's over. It's like, oh, great, service is over. There's no more customers here, but I have to go prep everything again. I have to deep clean everything again. I have to restock everything, re-inventory everything, do everything all over again. And like, yeah, like granted, there has been some days that I would close at like 6 p.m. Yeah. You know, within 6 hours, sold everything, like out of everything. And I'd still be there till 3 a.m. And get up and do it again.
Damn.
Commercial break.
All
right, be right back, y'all. Damn, can't talk today.
What is this?
We're back.
What is this?
The second half of the show.
What is this?
So we've been joking a lot, as y'all can see off camera, while we were on a commercial break. But I want to ask you, how do you feel about like glizzy jokes as it relates to hot dogs? And what do you feel like made that start? Because I feel like growing up, that wasn't really a thing.
That was not a thing.
No,
that's some Gen Z shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, I don't give a fuck. You know, just if you want to come get hot dogs from me, that's cool too. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just slang that. I don't know what these kids are fucking saying anymore.
But I be peeping his story though. He be like leaning into it though.
I do. Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, come on, I'm a businessman. You know, like, you know.
I feel like that's, as a business owner, you have, like, I would say this: you've gotten us to do a better job of like getting on viral moments, because at times I'm like, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it, but like there is that wave of like when you're in the wave and doing it, and like that's just like good business savvy. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I post a lot from this account, Wieners and Losers. It's this chick from Houston, and she's like gone viral. Like she's got like 100,000 followers on her account, and she just posts hot dog memes. She's like a chef too, and she's gonna do a collab with us this summer. She's gonna come to Portland, but her memes are just insane. They're just like bonkers.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, Jennifer, come on up. We're gonna see you here. Let's make some glizzies. Or whatever they call it.
One question I have for you is, in this world and day and age, like when we look at a person, we make judgments, and when we kind of look at the shop, it may have a biker aesthetic. I'll just go there. Do you feel like there's a pressure to make your space inclusive for all people?
Not a pressure. I think it's a responsibility to have everyone want to access your place, you know, and want to go there and feel safe there. And I think that's a responsibility especially as a bar owner and a business owner. You want people to go there. You're in business, you know, and you want people to want to bring all their friends. Doesn't matter who they are. And so, yeah, it's not a burden at all. It's like 100% part of the job. That should be your main focus, you know? And if your heart's not in that, then you're never going to succeed. And then everything around that is just building the business model to make it more accessible for everybody. And that's why everything can be done vegan and everything can be done gluten-free. And there is also beef, you know? And as much as I'm well known for the beef dogs, like I would say I have like a 40% vegan customer base, and they're awesome. And I'm not personally vegan, but I've eaten vegan lifestyle. I was vegan for like a year. Personally, it wasn't great for me, for my body, but for everybody, everyone's different, And I love vegan food. I think vegan food's amazing. And a lot of business owners are failing and they're wondering why. And it's like, well, you're not letting everybody come in here to access your products. You're just doing this one thing. And you're in the business of allowing everybody to come here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who they are. They should be able to get an access to your product. And the same with my my cocktail menu. It's mocktail first, You add alcohol to it. And that partly became because I don't drink and I hate going out to bars. I'm like, hey, what's your NA options? And people are like, oh, I got a Sprite. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not a child. I'm an adult and I want to give you money. And all these businesses are going, they're like, during dry January, they're like, oh, my bar is getting wrecked right now. Well, offer some fucking NA stuff. It's not that hard. Like people are only going to go there if you give them something they want. It's not rocket science, But yeah, I think everyone should feel safe and entertained and happy in your space. And yeah, everyone, that should be your responsibility as an owner. And yeah, but there should also be like that, like 3% of like danger, but like, I don't know who's going to roll up, like that 3% of like nothing bad's going to happen, but like, just,
Yes.
it's hard to explain,
Yeah.
But that's what, for me, it's like, it's good to have that safe space, but also like when you're going to another culture, like you have to also like get with the vibes where it's kind of like, bikers, we tough, we ain't taking those.
Well, bikers are, biker culture began from people leaving World War II, all the veterans leaving World War II. And they came back to the States and they were like, well, we went and fought this crazy war against these crazy motherfuckers. And now we're over here and we just have to work in the factory. I killed people for fucking 5 years, And so they all joined together and started, and to be in the army and stuff back there, you had to learn how to ride a motorcycle as part of the deal. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's part of basic training. You had to learn how to ride a motorcycle. And so they were like, well, we all know how to ride motorcycles. So they came back and started these clubs as a way of just having community and being like, hey, you know what I went through. And like, I can look at you and realize the shit we've gone through together, and like a brotherhood, And yeah, there's a lot of negative connotation around biker culture, and it's not like biker culture, I think, is all about community. We do these huge like Christmas toy drives every year, and my buddy Levi runs this thing called Sporty Mob, and every year we raise thousands of dollars in piles of gifts for kids. We take them down to the children's hospital, and we do toy drives. Every biker club does toy drives, and nobody talks about that. They're not all like, oh yeah, look at it. There's like, this is what we do. We help people that need it, and yeah, I think there's all this negative connotation behind it, and it's a community of people that are just like, hey, we're not part of the elite. We're part of the working class, and we all ride bikes, but it's not just about that. And there's so many different types of people into biker culture, and it's not just like what you think of like Hell's Angels, like, white racist people. That's like, they call them 1% clubs because that's 1%. That's only 1% of the entire biker culture are those people. And the rest of it is every creed, every culture, every color, everyone, and it's not, the 1%ers are just the 1%ers,
I actually got I gotta plug you in with my uncle. He's been riding bikes my entire life. Tracy Terry.
Tell him to come by the shop.
Yeah, no,
you would love it
for sure,
yeah.
for sure. Pivoting just a little bit, just because I'm curious, like, where do you see the future of your business, but then also like how that intersects with stuff you like to do in your personal life with like riding bikes, like in the future? Like, I don't know, you have a hot dog, like riding for hot dogs, like almost like running for the arts or something like that. Yeah.
Running for the arts.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
man.
I think hot dogs and motorcycles kind of go hand in hand, which is part of why this thing works, and because it is kind of like classically American in this way, yeah, I think we re-signed the lease, me and my business partner, and he runs a motorcycle shop. We re-signed it because together, because I feel like that is like part of the whole thing, you know. And I think we're getting to this place in society where, you know, the car culture is kind of dying out. I mean, people can't afford to buy new cars. Gas is getting more expensive. And if you look at huge countries in Asia, they all ride motorcycles, all of them, you know. And almost the entire rest of the world rides motorcycles, except for us, because we're just a huge car culture. But things aren't as cheap as they used to be, and I think there is going to be a little bit of a shift into motorcycling as like more efficient means of parking, addressing parking issues, addressing gasoline issues, and just safety overall. Motorcyclists are more safe than people in cars. They did studies on when we transferred from manual transmissions to automatic transmissions in our cars. Accidents went way up because when you're not actually manually clutching and changing gears and thinking about what you're doing, you're just fucking spacing off. And so it's kind of weird to think, you would think that this thing would like technology would make us safer, and it didn't, you know. But yeah, I think those two things go hand to hand. And like all summer we're doing a big party on June 1st, and we're gonna do like it's like a ride-in bike shows. You can bring your bike down, and pretty much we're just gonna like do votes on like the coolest bike of the club, like different choppers, blah blah. And yeah, we're gonna do like a bikini like bike wash and like have hot dog. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. Yeah.
You got a flyer for it?
We're working on it right now.
Okay, send it to me when you do it. I'll get to my uncle.
Yeah, he would love it. Yeah.
And Rob probably slide through. Of
course, hot dogs will be there. So yeah, it's gonna be sick. Yeah,
I'm faithful. Anyway,
I didn't say you would touch anything.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
you should bring your bike down.
Might grab a dog, pull one out. No, I'm playing.
Hey yo.
He said bikini wash. So
One of my final questions I gotta ask you is, when we talk about the food critic world, there are a lot of people have a lot of opinions about a lot of different food and how it's prepared. And I'm just curious, how do you as a business owner want to do with like negative reviews, people like rating your dogs? Like, how do you want to deal with that?
Well, you can do whatever you want on the internet, but don't expect me to shut the fuck up about it. I'll call you out.
Oh,
I really don't care. Yeah, I think for a long time, our food culture has also been like, oh, customer, you know, the customer is always right because they have the money. But you wouldn't be a customer if I wasn't here. So it goes both ways, you know? And if you want to say some negative shit about me, I just hope you're prepared to say it to my face, or me just to put you on blast. Like, if you have the balls and you don't care about, you know, throwing your public stuff on the internet, I'll do it too, you know? And I really don't care, you know? Like, if you have a legitimate issue, I will professionally deal with it. But if you want to write shit about me or like use really fucked up language or take it out of that professional world, I'm not about, you know, when they go low, go high. When they go low, I'll kick them in the head. You know, I don't play that shit.
What the fuck? Why can we? What have I not said this before?
So don't expect me to like, you know.
America will be so much better if more people told motherfuckers to go to hell.
We'd have a lot less keyboard warriors, a lot less people thinking that they were so big and tough. I'm like, dude, actions have consequences. And it doesn't mean I'm going to physically do something to you, but someone else might. and it won't be me, and it won't be anyone associated with me. It'll be someone having a bad day, you know? And people need to learn, like we've strayed away from the real world and we live in a fantasy. And people have their opinions. You can write your opinion, but yeah, the second you start taking it real low, I'll go lower, you know?
I'll just say this, y'all stay with me. Having this like different like thought and connotation, like when you go to another country, where it's kind of like you're a visitor there, and like you have to like understand and get with the customs, and like if you have like a problem with what's going on, it's how you deliver it, because if you deliver it wrong, hey, prison's there versus here.
Oh, that's completely different. That's it.
I'm just saying.
I'm a more like.
But I'm just saying.
Yes, sir, no, sir. Like out the country.
But I'm just saying that's what you're all talking about is what I'm thinking about. Where it's kind of like some people. I was thinking like some and certain Americans, when we go to other places, we have it's supposed to be like this. No, motherfucker,
No, you're not
here.
American anymore. Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
So you need to use your big boy, big girl words and say what's the problem and not do none of that fuck shit. So that's all I was thinking about. I just made that connect.
And that's the thing is I have this space that, think about all these people's jobs. My job is one of the few jobs where anybody off the street can come in. Anybody. It's not like I'm working in an office and some dude, the security's going to take them out. When I'm behind the bar, anybody can come in. Doesn't matter who. Anybody can just pull up and walk inside that place. So it creates a very weird, like, microcosm of the world. Yeah. Because this public space, now all of a sudden I have to deal with anything. And that goes from people writing shit on the internet to saying shit, trying to steal shit, to homeless people coming in and starting fights or trying to break shit. Like, it's a crazy, like, people don't understand how much the public facing, essential workers, during COVID, they called us, have to deal with, And I think after COVID, I'm just fed up. I just don't give a shit. I worked through COVID and, they didn't want to give us the vaccine first, but they wanted us to go to work every day. And they were like, oh, everyone else can't go to work, but y'all are okay. And with the biggest number of deaths during COVID were line cooks. Line cooks. That's the most people died in COVID because it's people being, put in a small, little, unventilated room, 10 people at a time. There is no 6 foot. You're literally standing working around each other all day. So more people got COVID working in restaurants than any other job. So I think America owes it to restaurants and service industry people to show a little fucking respect and be like, hey, maybe this experience wasn't great this time, but know what? I'll give them another chance, or maybe at the least just don't go on the internet, because one review can fuck up your business. And I take that personally. You fuck with my money, you fuck with my emotions.
Now that's something I can get behind.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So yeah, as a small business owner, I don't play that.
I go on the shot clock.
We can go on the shot clock.
All right, so we're just gonna close this out, Sage. It's this game I like to play called Shot Clock. Real quick, just take this right here from me, my boy. All right, so just rapid fire questions. Need some rapid fire answers from you. All right. So just as an example, I'm gonna ask you, what's your favorite color, red or blue, and you're gonna say,
correct.
See, he gets it. He knows how to play. All right, all right, real quick. Just gonna look over this. All right, let's go. Let me start out. Favorite hot dog condiment?
Fuck. Sweet chili sauce.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Chips or fries with hot dog?
I only sell chips, but I like fries. But I don't always order them. So it's 50-50.
All right. Hot dog eating contest. You sober or Joey Chestnut drunk?
Joey's gonna win.
No comments.
I might be high as hell, but you still win.
All right.
Yeah.
Who has the better dog? Costco, a ballpark, or a street dog?
Costco.
All right, last one. And he dragging it. I ain't gonna lie, but bro,
I'm a Costco fiend.
I am too, but like
street dog is too, ambiguous.
Yeah.
I've had bad one, and Costco's always the same.
All right.
Consistent.
Real.
And it's $1.
All right. Last one. You could have any celebrity, dead or alive, come share hot dog with you at your business. Who you want pulling up?
Bourdain. Yeah, Bourdain. That'd be awesome.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you coming through, bro.
Hell yeah. That was fucking awesome. It was a lot of fun.
No, we hope you have fun. I learned a lot this interview.
Yeah, no, for sure.
About some stuff. Yeah.
It took some turns I wasn't expecting, but like, but like, I enjoyed it for sure.
No, and that's why I simply enjoy doing this, man. And yeah, I just want to say as well, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you, Robert.
Hey, man, I'm definitely coming through.
Yeah, y'all two definitely got to pull up.
Yeah,
and you will probably see me soon. Again.
Yeah.
Because I only live like 3 minutes from there, so like.
Oh, I didn't know you lived that close.
Bro, yeah, I live like.
You're pretty
We're
cool.
gonna bleep this out, but you're out. But yeah, no. Until next time, y'all. It's Tay Ford.
This is Rob.
Sage, Third Coast.
And we out, y'all.